For the uninitiated here on 5 Star Weekend, what we do is we snake our way, snake draft, much the same way you'll probably snake draft your fantasy football team here in the next couple of weeks. Mraz will get the first pick. I'll get the second and third. He gets the fourth and fifth. I'm going to work our way all the way down through who end up being our top 10 fantasy quarterbacks. We do this position by position this time of year to try and get you ready for your fantasy draft. We did running backs last week. Well, I didn't. I was out, but Mraz handled it with Jeremy. And the week before that, we did wide receivers. So now it's quarterback time. With all that being said, Mraz, your number one fantasy quarterback going into the 2022 season is?
It'll be Patrick Mahomes, and he doubles as both what I think is the best quarterback, and I still value him because of the touchdown numbers he can put up fantasy-wise ahead of some other guys that might be a little more mobile. And by the way, it should just be reiterated as we do this exercise. Remember, we are drafting for fantasy purposes, not who we think the top 10 best quarterbacks are in football.
It's interesting to me, though, that you did not go with my guy, Josh Allen. I'm going to go with Josh Allen, number 2. I think this is Josh Allen is coming of age right before our very eyes. He should have beaten Patrick Mahomes last year in the playoffs. You can argue about the reasons the Bills didn't pull that off. I think I picked them as my AFC Super Bowl representative a year ago. I could see now that was probably still a year early. I will pick them again, most likely, as my AFC representative for the Super Bowl this year. And far and away, the number one reason is Josh Allen. So give me Josh Allen second. Third, I'm going to take Lamar Jackson. And I think, look, the reason I jump over Justin Herbert, I don't know if you'll take him next or not, but the reason I didn't take Herbert here, okay. So now we're giving spoilers inside our, it's like Woj has stolen our phones and is now tweeting out the picks before we give them. So the reason I take Lamar Jackson over Justin Herbert is I don't think they're going to get a contract done before the season starts. And I think for Lamar Jackson, this is going to be as close as we get, if not similar, if not even better than what he did during his MVP season. I think Lamar Jackson has a huge year this year. I know he still doesn't have the offense built around him as far as personnel goes, but he does have his running backs back, which means the running game is not going to be all on his shoulders. I think Lamar Jackson has a huge year because of his ability to break free every once in a while and do things on the run, because of his ability in the red zone to score with his legs. I think that's an added value for fantasy. So I'll take Josh Allen second, Lamar Jackson third. You get 4 and 5, Mraz.
Yeah, and 4, I'm going to take Justin Herbert. Obviously, clearly, the numbers should be there. We continue to assume he's going to ascend. And also, a little caveat to why I like Justin Herbert also in fantasy is there is no head coach in football that is going to be more aggressive on going forward on 4th downs in big spots than Justin Herbert. Now, look, they're going to fail a lot. You saw it last year in that last game versus the Raiders. But when they convert, if that is in the red zone and such, you have chance for basically bonus touchdowns is the way I would look at it. Bonus yardage. Right. That little bit could put him over the edge. So I love Justin Herbert there with pick number 4, my second pick. After that, this is where the whole thing gets clouded. Could I go Kyler Murray? Yeah. Could I go Jalen Hurts? I guess Brady, who the heck knows? I'm gonna go with Russell Wilson. I'm going to take Russell Wilson here. Still a guy that can make it work with his legs. And I just feel like I don't know how good Denver is going to be. I don't know how great the offense is going to be. And I don't know how this looks long-term, but I think for the first year, you get a real shot of energy and Russell Wilson feeling energized. He already was great, both throwing to big targets. Obviously, they're loaded out there in Denver. I'll take Russell Wilson.
So you've got 3 quarterbacks so far, Mraz, all 3 from the AFC West. A big believer in the AFC West quarterback derby as we do snakes on the brain and we're drafting the top 10 fantasy quarterbacks. Mraz so far has Mahomes with the first pick, Herbert and Wilson with the 4th and 5th picks. I've got Allen and Lamar Jackson with the 2nd and 3rd picks, which means I get 6 and 7. And you're right, it gets cloudy. It's murky at this point. All the names you already mentioned, Murray, Hurts, Brady. I skip all of them for my next pick. And I go Joe Burrow. Joey Burr, I think a lot of people, I know people wonder, was it a fluke? Will the Bengals get back to another Super Bowl in Joe Burrow's career, or will this be classic Bengals where they don't properly build things around him? I think you saw steps in the right direction this offseason. They completely rebuilt the offensive line around Joe Burrow. I understand you may have concerns that he doesn't get a ton of reps in preseason because of the appendectomy. I don't think that slows him down. Look, he's got a great receiving core. Chase, Higgins, Boyd. We know what he can do with Chase. I think now what can he do with a better offensive line where he's not running for his life, getting sacked half a dozen times every week? I think Joe Burrow is primed for a big year. And now I'm back in cloudy with a chance of meatballs land here with Murray, Hurts, Brady, I don't know, Prescott, Stafford. I blow by all those guys again, and I say, you know what? He's always done it with just about any wide receiver they hand him. Aaron Rodgers. So give me Joe Burrow 6th, Aaron Rodgers 7th. I think he's going to put up a ton of yards.
Yeah, no reason to overthink that. I was in on Rodgers. That was going to be my next pick. All right, I guess I will take Kyler Murray and hold my breath here next. I mean, he's still a guy like a pinball, run, pass, everything, but I am very concerned after everything we've heard this offseason. But I will go Kyler Murray. And then my following pick, I really want to go Daniel Jones here. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to take Trey Lance, Mack, because I think both on the ground and through the air, and this is a guy that Deebo Samuel, you throw it to him, those yards after catch, guess what? They count on his passing yardage as well. I think Trey Lance is set up for a big fantasy year in San Francisco. I
was really hoping you'd complete your AFC West starter pack with Derek Carr there, but you managed to resist the temptation. I'm proud of you.
I did.
All right, you, sir. So Morash has Mahomes, Herbert, Russ, Kyler, and Lance. I have Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers. And again, I called him the cloudy with the chance of meatballs group here. But we're back to Jalen Hurts. Do you believe that he can do enough? Because we know he's got the potency of the offense with his legs. Do you go with Tom Brady, or do you question whether he's fully in this year? He just took a vacation in the middle of training camp. His wife doesn't even want him playing. She wants him at home putting Lunchables in lunch boxes instead of out there playing football.
Don't you hate on Lunchables?
Oh, I didn't hate on Lunchables. I just can't imagine the hurt in Tom Brady's heart when he can't just pack his kid's lunchbox with nothing but avocado ice cream, you know? These salted processed meats. I can't believe I'm killing my children. Anyway, there's Dak Prescott still out there. There's reigning Super Bowl champion Matt Stafford still out there. And I think that's the way I go. Because I know I know they're managing his throws, the number of throws. But I still believe that offense has enough weapons that Stafford is going to be able to put up numbers. I think the Rams are certainly going to be winning football games. You might be inclined to go with Jalen Hurts, again, because of the ability to run the ball, do things with his legs. Philly's going to be behind in some games. They're going to have to come back. He's going to put up yards in those cases, I think. But for my money, I'm going with the crafty veteran, Matt Stafford.
I like it. I think we have a solid 10 list there. Matt Berry, who are you?
Yeah. Now all we need are the people from Philly to come after us for not. Why'd you not take Hurts?
Right,
well, because
exactly. Yeah.
He stinks half the time. Anyway, so that's our snakes on the brain for this week. I just can't count on him. Every time I start to count on him, he ruins it for me. He messes the bed. Anyway, coming up next,